Hi, welcome to Homemade Italian Cooking. I'm Cara. Today we are making a very special dish. It's a crispy pork belly served on a Chinese steamed bun with pickled cucumbers and hoisin sauce. It's going to be fantastic. Now this is the last recipe in my pork belly video series. As you may recall, if you've seen them, if not, please go to my website or YouTube channel and watch them. But I ordered a whole pork belly from my favorite online gourmet meat provider store, D'Artagnan. And you can get the link at the website to find out about it. But D'Artagnan has the best pork I think you can get in the country. And it's a supplier to a lot of restaurants and so forth. It's a Berkshire pork. It has a wonderful fat to meat ratio. And it's a really, clean, organic, beautiful piece of pork. So I took the pork and when we got it, and I cut it into 4 different pieces of meat. So this is the last piece that I'm going to be cooking. It's about 3 pounds here. I've left the skin on the pork. You can see the wonderful meat and fat ratio here. And we're going to slow roast this. And we're going to let the skin get super crispy. Then we're going to slice it and serve it on these little Chinese buns. As you can see here, and I'm going to put the recipe for the Chinese buns as well. I made these last night. They turned out fabulous. They're soft. They're very fluffy. They have a little pocket in them that we're going to put the pork belly and the other ingredients. I made about 40 of them. And we're only going to use probably a dozen for this meat, but they freeze really well, so that was another good thing to learn. And they can be taken out in a quick steam or microwave, and they fluff and warm right up. So I'll look for the recipe for these on the website. So what I've done with the pork to get it started is I brined it overnight, did this last night, in your normal kind of brine sauce, which is salt and sugar, water, and I added some Chinese seasoning, star anise and peppercorns, and let that brine overnight. I've washed it really well, dried it off really well, and now I'm at the point where I'm going to put it in the oven. And what I've done is I've taken my sharp knife and I've scored the top into these diamond shapes, right into the skin. You don't score it into the meat, just cut the skin. So when it crisps up, it's going to release more fat all along, because you do want the fat to render out. And to help it crisp, I've taken some baking powder and just rubbed it right on the skin. This helps keep it dry as well. Now what we're going to do with this is put it in the oven at 300 degrees for about 2-3 hours. When it's done, most of the fat is going to have rendered out in the bottom of the pan. The skin is going to be super crispy, and the meat will register at 160 degrees. And I'll check that with my digital meat thermometer. So we can adjust as we go along. I've got it on a wire rack so that it doesn't sit in the grease. We'll check the temperature. And if the skin isn't crispy enough at the end when the meat is done, I can turn the oven up to like 450 and crisp the skin really well that way. One thing I've learned the hard way is to watch it. It will smoke and catch on fire if you, all that fat if you don't. But it really, a few minutes and it will get nice and crispy. So with that, I'm going to pop this in the oven and we'll see you when it's done and show you how to prepare the sandwich. All right, we're back. I've taken the beautiful pork belly out. I've let it rest for about 30 minutes. You can see it here, so it's cooled down. It cooked about a total of 4 hours. I probably went an extra hour because I felt like the fat wasn't rendering out enough. I did turn it up to 450 at the end. One thing I will make sure you do when you, and I will put this in the recipe, is to pour off all that bacon fat before you put that back in a hot oven. So that seemed to work really well. So now I'm going to show you how to assemble the sandwiches. So I've got my steamer here. This has been on the boiler. And I've got hot steamed buns. They're very hot. I'm going to take a couple out. Oops, put them right there. You want to kind of do this all together. And so you can see, I'm going to slice a nice, probably 1/2 inch, you can hear the crunch, slice of pork belly. And it holds its shape beautifully. And I'll show this to you here. And it's got, you know, a nice juicy meat. It's got the thick, crispy skin on it. And the way we assemble these sandwiches, so I've taken the steam bun. It had a little pocket in it. And we're going to put some hoisin sauce on there. We've got one of our pickled cucumbers, and the recipe will be on the website. Basically, it's sugar, salt, and a little rice vinegar, and some sliced cucumbers, and let it sit. Gives it a nice pickly, and a couple thinly sliced scallions. And we're going to put our pork belly on there, and wrap it all up into a beautiful sandwich. I'm trying to try this. We've been waiting 2 days to do it. You can see we've got the beautiful crispy meat, the soft bun, and I don't know if you can see this, but you know, the inside of the pork belly, most of the fat is rendered out. You can just see the succulent meat left and the crispy skin on top. So let's go for a bite and get a close-up of that. That was the best bite of food I ever had. The combination of these soft, fluffy buns, the hoisin, and this pork, and the, like, crispy little skin at the top, it's just delightful. I can't wait to eat the rest of this. I hope you try this recipe. It's really not as difficult as it looks. You know, get a pork belly from D'Artagnan, get the link at my site. All the recipes will be there for the pickled cucumbers, the Chinese steamed buns, and of course the pork belly. So with that, watch all the videos in the pork belly series. You'll really have found a new food to love and savor. So thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.